The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark has reached a boiling point, and this time, it wasn't just fans or analysts speaking up. It was a teammate. A teammate who didn't hesitate, didn't filter, and didn't care about the consequences. Sophie Cunningham stood up not just for Caitlin, but for the truth, and what followed was one of the most explosive moments in recent WNBA history. It began like many other games this season with Clark being hounded, harassed, and hammered. Every time she touched the ball, game after game, the storyline has been painfully familiar. Hard fouls, late hits, cheap shots. But in one match against the Connecticut Sun, that pattern erupted into something far more powerful. Cunningham had seen enough. And when JC Sheldon laid a hard foul on Clark, Sophie's instincts kicked in. In a split second, she became more than a player. She became Clark's protector. What looked like just another on-court scuffle turned into a viral flashpoint. Cunningham flung Sheldon to the ground and dared anyone to step to her. The crowd gasped. The cameras caught it all. And in that instant, Sophie Cunningham was no longer just a WNBA forward, she became a movement. But what really set the world on fire wasn't just the shove it, was what? Sophie said after, she didn't hold back. In interview after interview, she torched the league, scorched the media, and exposed the silent conspiracy happening behind closed doors. And she did it all for one reason: Caitlin Clark. It pisses me off when people say she's not the face of the league. Who would be? What? Sabrina? No. There are a lot of badasses in this league, no doubt. But Caitlin Clark is the one filling arenas. She's the one changing the game. That kind of honesty doesn't come easy. It comes from frustration, from watching a teammate get unfairly targeted, and from witnessing the league do next to nothing about it. Sophie wasn't speculating, she was confirming what fans have been whispering for months. This is personal, and worse, it's deliberate. Sophie had already heard it in locker rooms, especially in Phoenix. Teams weren't just preparing for Caitlin, they were plotting against her. Players were openly saying, "We're going to show her what the W is." They didn't want to welcome her, they wanted to humble her. And Cunningham called it all, out in camera, no filter. She said what the league wouldn't admit, that Caitlin Clark isn't just being tested like any rookie. She's being bullied, targeted, and isolated by those who feel threatened by what she represents. Jealousy, resentment, and fear. Fear that the game is evolving without them. Cunningham said it best: "This is just too much. I'm over it. If I'm saying it's too much, then it probably is." The moment that shove happened, Caitlin Clark turned to her in the locker room and said just one word: "Finally." Finally, someone stood up. Finally, someone said what needed to be said. Finally, someone did something. Sophie's reply: "I got you." That wasn't just a moment. It was a shift in the entire dynamic of the Indiana Fever. A fractured squad suddenly felt united. A team struggling to find its rhythm finally had a spark. That fire started with Sophie, and it spread. Her bold act became the symbol of resistance. The Caitlin Clark bodyguard moniker spread like wildfire across social media. TikTok edits, Instagram reels, memes, remixes, fight music overlays. Sophie Cunningham didn't just go viral, she became a legend overnight. She gained over 1 million new followers in less than 2 days. Her Instagram and TikTok pages exploded with fans calling her the enforcer, Clark's shield, and the Queen's Guard. But this wasn't about clout. Sophie was crystal clear. This wasn't staged. It wasn't drama for drama's sake, it was real. Her mother had always told her, if you're going to do something, don't be catty, do it for real. So she did. And behind all the internet fame was a much deeper truth. Sophie Cunningham was holding up a mirror to the WNBA, and the reflection wasn't pretty. She pointed fingers at the officials, accusing them of ignoring blatant fouls. She described full-body checks, grabs, pushes, stuff that would get anyone else ejected, yet Clark kept getting hit with no whistles. No protection. Sophie didn't sugarcoat it. If that was anyone else, I'd be booted out. I don't even have a leash, just a collar and a hand on it. She shredded the referees. She shredded the media. And then she came for the players. the ones who profit from Clark's stardom, but can't bring themselves to support her publicly. Sophie exposed the league's ugly contradiction. They love the fame, the ratings, the money, but when it comes time to defend the woman behind it all, they go silent. Or worse, they throw shade. And she called that out too. Why are the same players who benefit from Clark's presence, who enjoy bigger crowds and bigger paydays, also the ones discrediting her on podcasts? In interviews? On social media? Sophie had a word for it: clout chasing. She slammed Kelsey Plum and others for passive-aggressive comments. She even took aim at the Indiana Fever president, who deactivated her Twitter after fans started flooding her mentions. Why? Because leadership had failed. They talked about building a brand like Apple, but failed to protect the face of that brand. You don't build legacy by silence. You build it by standing up. And that's what Sophie did. Loudly, visibly, fearlessly, she warned, "The league, you're being watched." These new fans Caitlyn brought into kids, the families, they see what's happening. If she leaves, if she walks away, if you drive her out, it's lights out. It was more than a threat, it was the truth. The WNBA has never had a star like this before. It never had this kind of mainstream crossover. Caitlin Clark sells out arenas, leads jersey sales, breaks viewership records, and yet walks into every game like she has to prove herself all over again. Sophie said enough is enough. Her message was clear. You either stand with Caitlin, or you stand in the way of progress. Even now, some players are still denying Clark's status, still saying she's not the face of the league. Sophie didn't blink. If you still think she's not the face of the WNBA, you're dumb. That's not a hot take. That's the reality. No one else has had this kind of impact. No one else has shifted the league's trajectory the way Clark has, and no one else. Until Sophie had the guts to defend her so openly. That's what made this moment matter. This wasn't about a fight, it wasn't about a fine, it wasn't about a viral clip. It was about loyalty, it was about truth, it was about drawing a line. And letting the whole league know, if you come for Caitlin Clark, you answer to Sophie Cunningham. And to everyone who stands for something bigger than the game. Because this wasn't just about basketball anymore. This was a movement. Asterisk, asterisk, if you're with Sophie. If you believe the league needs to protect its stars, if you believe in truth over silence, drop a 100% in the comments. Like, subscribe, and let us know. Should the WNBA do more to protect Caitlin Clark? Or is this just part of the game? Let your voice be heard. Asterisk, asterisk.